All right, guys, so what we're going to do today is we're going to review the study guide. So I want you to follow along with the video and review your study guide. So the first thing you need is to have out your study guide work from yesterday. I want you to correct anything that you got wrong. So as we're going through, I'm going to go through each question on the screen. I want you to put a big check mark next to any one that you got right. And I also want you to be redoing it if you got anything wrong. So you're really going to have to pay attention and to make sure that you have all the exact right work that I have on my screen. Okay. Remember, you have a test over this content tomorrow. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to review the study guide. I'm going to go over all the questions, the short answer, the extended response. Then after the review, you're going to play the review games that are linked on Google Classroom. Okay. All of this is independent. So you're going to be working on this at a level 0. Okay. So let's start with number 1. Number 1's a triangle. So our area formula for a triangle is area equals 1/2 of the base times the height. Our base is 22 and our height is 12. Now remember, your height is always the one that is perpendicular to the base. So our height is 12. So we're going to fill those into our formula. Area equals 1/2 times 22 times 12. So the area equals 132 feet squared. So that's A. Okay, so let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 is still a triangle, but this triangle is in the coordinate plane. We're going to use the same area formula. So we have area equals 1/2 base times height. So if we count it out, our base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. And then our height is 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So we're just going to put that in our calculator. Area equals 1/2 times 5 times 4, which gives us 10 units squared. So our answer should have been B, 10 units squared. All right, so let's take a look at number 3. Number 3 is a triangle. So we're going to use our formula. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Our base is 10 and our height is 5. So we can fill those in, 10 and 5. So area equals 25 units squared. 25 inches squared, excuse me. Number 4 is a triangle, but we have lots of different measurements on here. So we're going to use that same formula. Area equals 1/2 of the base times the height. Our base is our 14, and the height is the one that is from the very tip top to the very bottom. It's the one that's perpendicular to the base. So our height is 5. So we have 1/2 our base of 14 times our height of 5, which gives us 35 units squared. So your answer should have been A, 35 units squared. Okay. For number 5, it says to name the 3D shape below. If you look, we have triangular sides. So I know it's some sort of pyramid. Pyramids are named by their bases, and this one has a triangular base. So it's a triangular pyramid, okay? Or a triangular pyramid. Number 6 says name the 3-dimensional figure. So if we look here, we have rectangular sides. And we know if we have rectangular sides, it is a prism. And prisms are named by their ends. These have triangular ends, so this is a B triangular prism. Now, number 7 and 8 are both irregular polygons. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to split these into 2 shapes, find the area of each shape, then add them together. So we're going to go ahead and draw our line right here. So now I have a square on the bottom and I have a triangular piece on the top. Okay, so for my square on the bottom, we're going to use the formula area equals length times width. The length is 10 and the width is 10. So we have a 10 times 10. So the area of our bottom piece here is 100 inches squared. Now we're going to take a look at our triangular piece. We're going to use the formula area equals 1/2 base times height. To find the base, since we don't have a measurement for the base, what we're going to do is we're going to take the base of the entire shape as 10. This section is 6. So to get the rest of the way, or to fill that in, we know that 6 plus 4 would give us the entire shape of 10. So the base of the triangular piece is 4. To get our height of our triangle, 16 is not the height of the triangle. 16 is the height of the entire shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 16 and we're going to subtract out this 10 And that'll tell us the rest of the height, which is 6. And then we can just plug that in. 1/2 times 4 times 6 gives us 12 inches squared. So to get our total area, we're going to take our 12 inches squared plus our 100 inches squared, and that gives us a total area of 112 inches squared, or C. Okay. Number 8. Number 8 is 2 rectangles, so I'm going to go ahead and just draw my line right here. We're going to use area equals length times width. We have a length of 4 and a width of 2. So I'm going to fill that in, 4 times 2. So the area of this rectangular piece is 8 centimeters squared. Okay, now let's take a look at this piece down here. Again, it's a rectangle, so we're going to have length times width. I have a 4 by 2 again, so it's a 2 times 4. So that gives us 8 centimeters squared. To get the area of the entire shape, we're going to take 8 plus 8, and that gives us 16 centimeters squared, or B, 16 centimeters squared. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at number 9. Number 9, this is a parallelogram. So the area formula for a parallelogram is area equals base times height. The base of our shape is an 8. The height of our shape is a 5, so we have 8 times 5, and we get 40 centimeters squared, which is D, 40 centimeters squared. Number 10, that's our trapezoid. So first off, we're going to write out our trapezoid formula. We have area equals 1/2 parentheses base 1 plus base 2 parentheses times the height. Okay, so base 1 we can use as 6, base 2 we can fill in as 12, and our height is 4. So we have area equals 1/2 parentheses 6 plus 12 parentheses times 4. And when we put that into our calculator, we get 36 meters squared. So our answer should have been A, 36 meters squared. Okay, number 11. Number 11 is a surface area question, but on this one it goes ahead and draws out the net for us. Okay, so this is a triangular prism, and it draws a net for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of each piece, and then we're going to add it together to get the area of the entire shape. So let's start with this rectangle right here. Our formula is going to be area equals length times width. The length is 13 and the width is 10, so I'm going to fill those in, and that gives us an area of 130 centimeters squared for this piece right here. Now we need to look on our net and see if there's anywhere else that has a rectangle that is a 13 by 10. This rectangle is a 12 by 10, this rectangle is a 5 by 10, and the other two are triangles. So there's no other place on our net that is a 13 by 10 rectangle. So let's move on and take a look at this piece right here. On this rectangular piece right here, we're still going to use our area equals length times width formula, except now our length is 12. Our width is still 10, but our length is 12. So we're going to fill that in. We have a 12 times 10, and we get 120 centimeters squared. So now we're going to take a look at our net and see if there's anywhere else that would be a 12 by 10 that is 120 centimeters squared. The only rectangle left is a 5 by 10, so it doesn't work. We're going to have to show our work for that one. So let's take a look at that rectangle. We have area equals length times width. The length is 5 and the width is 10. When we multiply those, we get 50 centimeters squared. All right, so now let's take a look at our triangular pieces. We know that the area formula for a triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height. The base of the triangle is 12. The height of the triangle is 5. So the base is 12 and the height is 5. So the area of the triangular piece is 30 centimeters squared. Now, we do have another triangle down here. It has a base of 12 and a height of 5. So we know that it's also 30 centimeters squared. So to find the total surface area, we're going to take all of our pieces and we're going to add them together. So I had 30 and 30 for the two triangles. I had 130 for our red rectangle. I had 120 for my blue rectangle. And then I had 50 for my purple rectangle. When I add all of those up, I get 360 centimeters squared. So you should have gotten D. Okay. All right, let's take a look at number 12. It's another surface area problem. But for this one, they give us a 3D shape, and we have to draw the net and label our dimensions, and then go from there and find the surface area. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the square bottom. This is a square pyramid. So we're going to draw the square bottom. Then we're going to attach our triangular sides. So here's my first triangular side, second triangular side, third triangular side, and then my fourth triangular side. So there's our square pyramid net. And now we need to label our dimensions. So if you look at the bottom of our square, we know it's a 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. So I can put that on my net. I know all of these side lengths, which are also the base of the triangles, are 5 inches. Okay. Then we're going to put in our height. So our height from the very tip top to the bottom of our triangle is a 4.5 inches. So I can put that on all of the triangles that I have on my net. They're all the same, 4.5 inches. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of each piece and add it all up. So we're going to start with our square bottom. We have length times width. The length is 5 and the width is 5, so we get 25 inches squared. And now we're going to take a look at our triangles. The area formula for our triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height. We know that the base is 5 and that the height is 4.5. So 1/2 times 5 times 4.5 gives us an area of 11.25 inches squared. Now, that's for one triangular side. So we're going to have the exact same area for all of our triangular sides because they all have the same base and they all have the same height. So this is 11.25, this one is 11.25, this one is 11.25. To get our surface area, we're going to add them all up. We had 25 centimeters, it should say inches squared, sorry, I had inches squared for the base, 11.25, 11.25, 11.25, and 11.25 for all of our triangular sides. So when we add all of those up, we get 70 inches squared. So you should have had C, 70 inches squared for your surface area. All right. 13 and 14 were real world area problems. So for number 13, it said, Joseph's ceiling is a square shape that has sides that are 12 feet. He's going to cover the entire ceiling with paint, and each pail of paint covers 96 square feet of ceiling. How many pails of paint would Joseph need to buy so he could cover the entire ceiling? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do our length times width because it says it's a square. We know it's a 12 by 12, so we're going to fill that in, 12 feet by 12 length. So that tells us the entire ceiling is 144 feet squared. Now, the question doesn't ask us for area. We have to do more with it than that. It says, how many pails of paint is he going to need? So each pail covers 96 square feet. So we're going to take our 144 feet squared, and we're going to divide it by 96. When you do that, you're going to get a 1.5, okay? But our answer can't be a 1.5. You can't just walk into the hardware store and say, I only want a half of that, right? So 1 is not enough, so we have to purchase 2 pails of ceiling paint. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at number 14. Number 14 says, Danny has a rectangular rose garden that measures 8 meters by 10 meters. 1 bag of fertilizer can cover 16 meters squared. How many bags will he need to cover the entire garden? So first off, we're going to find the area. We know it's a rectangular garden. So we have length times width, which is an 8 by 10. So 8 times 10 tells us that the area of the garden is 80 meters squared. So we're going to take our 80 meters squared and we're going to divide it by the 16 meters squared that each bag covers. So that tells us that it's going to take him 5 bags of fertilizer, or B. Number 15, 16, and 17 were